Management. We programmers love them, don't we? With their reasonable deadlines, excellent people management skills, and deep understanding of the subject matter. There's no success without a good manager who does the real work, right? Yes. I know, bear with me. First, I totally get this sentiment. Back-to-back meetings all day, but doing what exactly? Now compare that with fixing a critical bug at 10 p.m. to save what's left of the company's reputation by morning. We all know that story. The reality is, they do a bad job. Sometimes. Often. But not as often as you think. And probably not in your case. You see, we programmers tend to feel, how should I put it, like a Michelin-star critics forced to do a tasting at the burrito stand. To us, whatever they do just feels wrong. And here's the thing. We need them as much as they need us, even if we see each other in slightly different light. Don't get me wrong, self-organizing cross-functional teams are great. Nobody's questioning the wisdom of agile, but that cross-functionality usually ends in the sandbox, strictly within technical know-how. So why is that? Let's start with an analogy. Say you're right and managers are inefficient. And you know what else is inefficient? Sewage cleaning stations. And I don't need to tell you how important they are. Without them, you would quickly drown in shit, including your own shit, which probably will not be the smallest contributor. And it's not that all they do all day long is dealing with challenges, but is definitely a big part of it and often justifies a good portion of the paycheck. To make it more relatable, imagine you receive a feature for development. There were 5 different versions of this feature, as well as 100 other feature requests that came down from the customer calls that same week. So from that 100 requests, 90 go straight to junk, 90 prioritized, and that one remaining actually lands at your desk. Yes, I'm exaggerating, but overall this is how it works with everything. Believe it or not, there are other important things than writing code, like funding, product strategy, and finding a replacement for your position. And these details are often almost invisible until something goes wrong. I surprisingly often hear from new managers something like, I was a bad developer, that's why I became a manager. Some become bad managers, but this definitely should not be your base assumption. So let's move on from this shit-driven analogy for a moment and see what the good ones really do, or should do. 1. Shield. Someone has to tell the CEO that squeezing a scope of 10 sprints into 1 month simply violates the laws of thermodynamics. This may sound trivial, but you don't want to be the person doing that. Good planning, prioritization, and limiting work in progress is gold that you should value much more than anything, unless you really enjoy the experience of riding a unicycle and juggling grenades at the same time. 2. Translation. Someone should convert the market wants AI into something meaningful that you can actually work on. Domain-driven design teaches us the ultimate importance of the ubiquitous language. But in reality, there are many languages, because coming to the common ground, is just too complicated. So if you don't want your backlog to look like a collection of motivational posters, you definitely need someone to turn the mix of buzzwords into actionable items. 3. Risks. Someone should ask the question, what will make it fail? Not once or twice, but all the time. Thinking about failure scenarios when writing code is your job, and it's difficult enough. So you may want to hand over thinking about hundreds of other possible causes of failure to someone else. 4. You. If you bring quality to the table, a good manager will value it and invest in you. These investments are not necessarily about money, or not only about that. It's about overall attitude towards you and genuinely wishing you well as a professional and as a human being. I had such managers in the past, and it was an absolute honor to work with them. Okay, but what if they don't do that? Then, take action. First, be clear and show data. Sad fact, nobody cares about your feelings, so keep your facts straight. It doesn't mean making a screenshot of every possible message you find in Slack, but learning to acknowledge your own bias and try to be as objective as possible. Because A, you may just be wrong, and B, if you want to make a point, it has to be rock solid. Not for you, but for the person you are addressing this to. Second, offer help and don't be an asshole. If your goal is not confrontation or the need to feel bigger, and I hope it isn't, then you should push for the result or try to change. And since you are the one who spotted the issue, chances are you have some solution in mind. So it's worth offering before generously letting them fail. 3. If all the above doesn't work, just kick the out of them. And that's it for today. Hope you enjoyed the video. If so, give it a like and subscribe. This will help to grow this new channel a lot. Happy coding and take care.